Hi everyone, Aidan here with etrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Rhino Rack Custom RCP Fit Kit. Now this is going to be the portion right here between our roof rack legs and the actual roof of our vehicle here. This is designed to work with flush rail systems. So what that means is this little raised portion right here. A naked roof would be something that has no raised portion, it's just straight into the roof. And raised rails would be where there's an actual air gap underneath that rail where you can run a clamp or something around. So make sure to check your roof, make sure you're picking up the right kind of fit kit. And this one's going to be for that flush rail system. So you can see here, it's actually custom molded to shape around our flush rail here and give us a really strong custom fit. We're not going to have any awkward air gaps for wind to get in and cause a bunch of noise, and it's going to keep things really secure on the roof. There is a small rubber pad underneath here to protect the paint and everything on your roof from any sort of scratching, and everything else up here is going to be made of metal, so it's nice and strong and very durable. Now you will need to have other components to make this a complete roof rack kit. Luckily, our website has tons of them available for you. Just plug your vehicle information into our fit guide, and you can find the right kit for you, whether it's utilizing this fit kit or another. And the install of this kit is very straightforward and simple. Check out how we do it. So we're starting off on top of the vehicle here. We want to go to our flush rails. We'll notice that on each corner, there's gonna be these little cutouts with a small tab. What you're going to do is take a small flat bladed screwdriver or a plastic trim tool if you've got one small enough. I've wrapped our screwdriver in electrical tape just to protect the plastics up here. And you're going to want to find that notch on each of those little panels and simply insert that screwdriver and just softly pry up. You'll feel two tabs release right there. And we can just set this to the side for now. From here, we can take the pieces of our base kit. Now, each one's going to be a little bit different, but luckily for us, we've got everything labeled. So right here, we can see on the surface, this says FR for front right, and it's got an arrow pointing towards what would be the front of the vehicle. So this goes on our passenger side in the front. You're gonna have that same thing for the front left, the rear left, and the rear right. So just make sure you put the right one in the right place, and we can just drop it down over top of that hole. You see it fits really well. We'll take these provided bolts, drop that through the large hole, and our Allen key that is also included in the kit, and we can thread that in to the existing hole that's threaded on our vehicle. We'll start to feel a little bit of resistance there. You don't need to torque this down like crazy, but you can see it's nice and solid right there, and we can repeat that on the other side. As far as assembling our crossbar goes, it's going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to first remove our end cap with our included tool. We can then take our foot here and slide that bolt into the bottom track here. And we can do that just to about there. And what I'm gonna actually do is snug this up most of the way so that it doesn't necessarily move on its own, but we can still move it by pushing it ourselves. Now I'm going to re-secure that end cap, and we can actually take this up to the roof of the vehicle. Now, on each of the feet, we've got two small tabs that'll line up with the base kit. Now those aren't actually doing anything to necessarily secure the crossbar to the roof, but it will help us line things up. So the reason we left those a little bit loose is so we can kind of push it, adjust it into place, maybe slide this crossbar back and forth if we want to get it more even. And once we're happy with about where it is, we can just flip it over. We can come back and fully tighten these down. Since they are mostly snugged up, they aren't going to move around on us, so this should be just fine. We can make that final tightening adjustment on both sides. Now we can take our 10mm bolt, add our lock washer and our flat washer, and that's actually going to go right in this small hole right here on the foot. That'll line up with a threaded hole on the base plate there. You can feel it start to sort of thread in right about there. It is pretty low clearance in here, so it might be a bit difficult to get started by hand. What I found helpful is actually having a ratcheting wrench on hand, and what you can do is just use that to tighten it down. You can kind of hold the head of the bolt while you pull it back. That way it just doesn't spin on you. And then you can run it down until it's nice and snug on both sides. Once that's been done on both sides, you can add your covers to your feet and lock it up with the included key, just like that. And just like that, your installation is complete. This whole kit is super simple to get installed, and because of the way everything attaches to the vehicle, it's on there really strong, and I feel super confident about it going down the road.